Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction, John Sopko, to join us once again as we examine SIGAR's 2021 high risk list. This biennial report identifies key areas of Afghanistan reconstruction that are especially vulnerable to waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption. As underscored by our recent hearings with U.S. Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation, Zalmay Khalilzad, and the co-chairs of the Afghan Study Group, the issue of U.S. military involvement in Afghanistan has reached a moment of great consequence. More than a year after the Trump administration and the Taliban signed a putative agreement for bringing peace to Afghanistan, insurgent violence against Afghan forces, and a campaign of terror, including assassinations against government leaders, teachers, prominent women leaders, and humanitarian workers, has continued unrelenting to the present day. Despite the lack of progress in de-escalating Taliban violence, President Biden is now forced to decide whether to withdraw the remaining 2,500 U.S. troops and approximately 13,500 U.S. contractors and third country contractors from Afghanistan by May 1st, as envisioned by the Trump-Taliban agreement. We are in a very difficult position. Alternatively, with less than 6 weeks before the May 1st deadline, the Biden administration can attempt to negotiate an extension of the February 2020 agreement, or, as has been recently circulated, convene a coalition partner group of countries to engage with both the Afghan government and the Taliban with the goal of initiating a detailed discussion for a peaceful transition and reconciliation between those two sides. These talks are happening at a moment of great uncertainty for the people of Afghanistan. In his 2021 high-risk list, Inspector General Sopko warns that a highly unstable security environment, coupled with the scheduled withdrawal of U.S. and international forces in the midst of a global pandemic, have all placed the U.S. reconstruction mission in Afghanistan, quote, at a greater risk than ever before. Since 2002, the United States has spent over $88 billion, or an estimated 62% of total U.S. reconstruction assistance, on training and equipment for the Afghan national defense and security forces. Yet, despite this expenditure and our best efforts to strengthen the Afghan government's military and police forces, levels of violence in Afghanistan remain unacceptably high, and the enduring presence of Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State Khorasan, and other terrorist organizations all continue to threaten to overtake the already fragile negotiations between the Afghan government and the Taliban. Nascent gains of Afghan women and girls who have made historic progress in their ongoing struggle for gender equality throughout the past 2 decades, while there were 0 women and girls attending school during the previous period of Taliban control in Afghanistan, today it is estimated that approximately 3 million women and girls are able to safely do so. With the support of at least $787 million in U.S. direct assistance, Afghan women have gained expanded legal protections, increased access to social services, and they are now able to meaningfully participate in Afghan politics. Unfortunately, as Special Inspector General Sopko reminds us in his latest report, that, quote, Afghanistan remains one of the most challenging places in the world to be a woman, close quote. And again, he identifies women's rights as high risk, especially given the potential for Taliban's reintegration into Afghan civil society and government. So let me be clear, the prospects for a sustainable and lasting peace in Afghanistan will inevitably depend on whether the Taliban and the Afghan government can reach a political agreement that respects the rights of all Afghans, including women and girls. So I was pleased to see the Biden administration's prioritize the rights of Afghan women and girls in the guiding principles document that it reportedly provided to the Afghan government and the Taliban in recent weeks. And to conclude, Inspector General Sopko writes, quote, whether or not the United States continues to withdraw its troops, the new administration and Congress will have to decide whether and to what extent reconstruction will continue, close quote. So as we work with the Biden administration to determine our best path forward in Afghanistan, we must afford meaningful consideration to how their approach might impact the high-risk reconstruction areas that are identified in SIGAR's report. I look forward to today's discussion with Inspector General Sopko, and I now yield to the ranking member from the great state of Wisconsin, Mr. Grothman, for his opening statement.